Yo, what up? What up? It's your boy 410 Josh. I'm back in the building. First off, Happy New Year to everybody. Um, this is my first live going directly to YouTube. So I want to thank all my subscribers that that pushed this and pushed me to do this strictly on YouTube now. I appreciate everybody's support. Um, So again, happy New Year to y'all. This is the first episode of Hip Hop 4123 for 2024. Um, so before we get into everything, y'all know what I always tell you. If you haven't done so, go to my YouTube page, 410 Josh. Hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment. You can check out my Facebook page, 410 Josh, for all my latest content. And now that I'm here on YouTube directly, y'all gonna get all my content, right away. So want to get into the hot topics and virals. Y'all know normally I do the hot topic Mondays, but because Monday was New Year and we just starting the year off, wasn't really much going on. We want to do it today and get right back on track. So first thing we're going to do is get into some news, all the news that's been going on, all the hot topics, viral news. BG responds to the snitch allegations after doing 13 years in prison for witness tampering and weapons possession. He basically said that when he first heard it, he felt a way that really know him and really know his character, told him not to worry about it. This is the internet. You can't really beat the internet. So it's like and the news came by way of Whack 100 that BG allegedly snitched. And it said BG felt a way about that. So I guess he just looked at it and was like, you know what, man, everybody gonna have something to say. This is the internet, so I'm just gonna, I guess take it how it is. But he made it very clear that he did not snitch. This is how I feel about it. I didn't read any of the paperwork. I heard it on Clubhouse just like everybody else. But the definition of snitching has changed so much. I don't really know what you call anybody that's a snitch, because people will say you got to go by the paperwork. Then people will say, oh, well, you really don't got to go by the paperwork. And then you got people that will say, oh, well, if you say this and don't say that, or if you say anything. So I really don't know. And personally, I really don't care. I'm glad BG home. He's back to the music, and he's getting his career back on track, and that's really all that matters. I will say this, I do respect Whack 100 a lot for what he does as far as him managing and his business acumen. Might not agree with all his moves, but that's not for me because I'm not in his world. But just from the outside looking in as a fan of hip hop and as somebody like him who's in hip hop that manages hip hop acts, I respect a lot of his acumen. But I will say this, given that he, embraced BG when he first came on, if he felt like he was going to do this, or he felt like, this was something that BG, there was something to BG, he should have kind of pulled back before embracing them before he come home, because to the outside world looking in, it looks like you kind of backdoored him, because it's like, okay, he came home, you embraced him, you and Birdman and everything, and then here comes up, well, he told. So that's my stance on it. I'm glad BG home. This whole snitching thing, I don't even know, you could say, somebody warns you, don't slip on a banana peel, that's snitching. It's just crazy how people just, call everything snitching nowadays. So I really don't even care at this point. Another thing in news, we got Snoop is joining NBC Primetime to host the Summer Olympics of 2024. That is a very, very big deal. Shout out to Big Snoop, the legend. To me, this just solidifies the debate of Snoop being the most famous rapper of all time. I think him and Pac are tied because anywhere in the world you go between them two, they're the most famous artists. You know those two. If you don't know any other rappers, you know Tupac, you know Snoop Dogg. And the fact that Snoop has been himself since day one and still being himself, and now hosting the Summer Olympics, it's like you gotta take your hat off to him. I mean, this is legendary status, again. Um, we got YNW Melly, his double murder trial has been postponed again. And it's been postponed to March 2024. His lawyer got a continuance. Y'all know he's facing a slew of charges of double homicide, witness tampering, conspiracy, all types of charges. So, like I said, it is looking bad for YNW Melly, but hopefully, he's found innocent if he didn't do it. So we'll just have to see how that plays out because that's a really, really ugly case that he's on. DJ Akademiks is in the news for being accused of sexual assault by an ex-girlfriend. They're saying that his ex-girlfriend said that she was at his house one night. I guess they having a party, and she woke up on with him on top of her. He's saying that this girl lied. The police did an investigation. Nothing happened. He was clear of everything. Then they had, I guess, text messages to prove that he wasn't. But again, the allegations are coming up. I'm gonna say this. I get that people don't get DJ Akademiks for some of the things he does. I respect what Ak does on his platform. Again, like similar to Wack. It's like I respect what he does and that some of his contributions to hip hop. I just don't agree with all of his moves and what he's done. But when you make an accusation like that, that's a serious accusation. When you talk about, along the lines of rape, sexual assault, those are very serious accusations. So if you're going to accuse somebody of that, I hope she really got, all her ducks in a row and really lawyered up and really going, take this seriously because, an accusation like that is a very, very serious accusation. And I, for one, don't condone anything like that. G-Dep has been granted clemency for a 1993 murder that he committed. He admitted to. He pleaded guilty in 2010 to manslaughter and was sentenced to 15 years to life. So he should be eligible for parole next year in 2025. G-Dep actually, when we heard about this, he actually walked into the police station and confessed. So that was, I don't know what made him actually do that, but maybe it was just on his heart, was eating it at his conscience. So hopefully, he's a changed man and got his life together and he come home and do something positive with his life. He wants to resume a music career. Hopefully he can. But I don't know. Hold on 1 second, please. Hey, y'all, sorry about that. Sorry about that. So next we got, yesterday was the 1 year anniversary of the death of Memphis legend, the Queen of Memphis, 3-6 Mafia member, Gangsta Boo. Gangsta Boo passed away last year on New Year's Day from a drug overdose on her porch from cocaine laced with fentanyl. And think they found alcohol in her system, and she had passed away on her porch. Um, DJ Paul did a tribute to her. That was one of the most shocking deaths because it was on New Year's Day, and Gangsta Boo had just did a Drink Champs podcast, I think maybe a month before that, and she was on live, and she was doing some things. So for that to happen, it was just like, wow, man. So rest in peace, Gangsta Boo. Definitely a hip hop legend, the Queen of Memphis, and she's never going to be forgotten. Then we got Busta. Busta salutes Papoose for keeping K Slade's legacy alive. Excuse me. As everybody knows, we lost K Slade, unfortunately, due to COVID in April of 2022. And shout out Papoose for all the work he's done in keeping K Slade legacy alive, which I really respect Papoose for doing that, because K Slade, honestly, as far as the mixtapes is my favorite DJ. The Street Sweeper mixtapes were some of my favorite. And what K Slade was doing with I call it the ultimate posse cut tracks, where he was getting like 50 deep, 100 deep, 200 deep. It was like you just got bars on top of bars, like the most bars you would ever hear at one time in one album. So rest in peace, K Slade. Shout out to Busta. Shout out to Papoose for keeping his legacy alive. Uncle Murder did his yearly wrap up for the year, where he basically takes all the big events that happened during the year and put them into like a freestyle. This year's, the last year's 2023 actually came in two parts. I love it. I love it. I know, yeah. So yes, for everybody that knows, yes, it did belong to Mag Skills, but Uncle Murder's from Brooklyn. That what he said, Brooklyn keep on taking it. That's the Brooklyn way. And he took it, made it his. And to be honest with you, I just posted this on my timeline. I said Uncle Murder's wrap up is American as baseball, because now you can't end the year without that. Like, like you're looking forward to that. Like, you look forward to Christmas, if you celebrate Kwanzaa, you're looking forward to New Year's. When the end of the year happens, everybody in hip hop wears Uncle Murder's wrap up. So shout out Uncle Murder. I love it, man. And finally, got Dr. Umar Johnson made some news that he was on Joe Budden podcast, and he was speaking on how Eminem can't be the GOAT in hip hop. Well, not even just Eminem. Let me rephrase that. He said no non-African can be the GOAT of hip hop, because this is an art form that was created by Black people. So nobody that's non-African can be the best of an African found music. So they asked him, does he think Eminem was the GOAT? He said Eminem was great, but he could never be the best of all time in hip hop. So caught a lot of controversy. A lot of people jumped in his DM, said he was racist, blah, blah, blah. This is my take on that. I actually agree with the premise of what he was saying, because you, as a genre of music created by us, you can't put anybody that's not literally one of us above the actual creators. So I agree with his stance, because like he said, if you go to Palestine, you can't be the best of anything Palestinian created and you're not Palestinian. You can't, anything Asian created, you can't be the best of if you're not Asian. If anything, that is Latin that's created in Latin America, whether Mexican, Dominican, Brazilian, whatever, if you can't be the best at what they created because you're not from that community. Like there's no if you look at salsa music, there's nobody black that is deemed the GOAT of salsa music. There's nobody black deemed the best of Celtic music. There's nobody black deemed the best at Japanese anime. So I get that, you know. I think that what people were missing is that hip hop, though created by is a black founded art form, was always inclusive of other genres. So not other genres, but other people. So those founded by black people, blacks, Hispanics, and there was a few whites in the beginning. It never excluded anybody. So I mean, I agree with what he's saying. I don't have a problem with what he said. What I do have a problem with is two things. The one problem that I have is that every time we as black people take pride in something that we have created, it's every other reason. It seems as if, like, in particularly some white people, they seem to think like if you have black pride, you're anti-white. Like, that doesn't make a bit of sense to me. Like, if you take pride in being African American or a native African, you take pride in your culture, your music, your cuisines, your literary arts, performing arts, it's like you're anti everybody else. And that to me is just absolutely ridiculous. Because, like, I'll give you an example. I've been to a Greek festival, in downtown Baltimore, where they serve Greek food, play music. They sell like handcrafted jewelry and furniture, things like that. And there's all races of people down there. Nobody's saying, "Oh, well, y'all, this is a Greek festival, so y'all must don't like black people, or y'all must don't like Latino people." I've been to the Italian food festival. There's food, there's music, there's wine, there's things you can buy, little knickknacks, whatever. Nobody's coming there saying, "Oh, well, this is Italian festival. Why is it nobody, you must be anti-Asian or anti-Indian." It's like, it's nothing wrong with taking pride in your own culture. But it seems though with black people, if you got black pride, white people believe that you're anti-white. And that to me is just utterly ridiculous. And honestly, that kind of, I don't even say kind of, that actually is like what proves his point about being a racist. Like, you always have a problem with us embracing our own culture. Second problem that I have is, I don't have a problem so much with Eminem being called the GOAT or one of the GOATs. I have a bigger problem with people that look like me and you, that are hip hop fans, that don't show a love for this culture the way that Eminem does. So when I see black people that don't love hip hop the way Eminem does, as somebody who is white but shows a love and respect for this culture, I got a real problem with that, because this is an art form created by people that look like you. So when he's deemed one of the GOATs and he's showing a love and respect and admiration for this culture that you aren't, and people that look like you do, I got a problem with that. To me, you shouldn't even be a part of hip hop. You shouldn't even be able to speak on somebody like him. Because if you, as an African American that grew up in the hood, in the inner city, the projects, the slums, wherever, and you try to adopt the same mentality and behavior and dialect as people that don't love this culture, I got a problem with that. So I don't like that at all. And those to me are what you call the culture vultures. So you know, that's really, what I got to say about that. And that wraps up the hot topic news. I'm gonna look real quick to see who's on here. Nikki Smith, thanks, love, for coming through. I appreciate it. Glad BG home. Yup, I'm glad he is too. Yeah, that is sad. Long live Gangsta Boo. She's a legend. Agreed, hip hop is part of our black culture. No debate. Absolutely. It is ours. We created it, and it's always going to be ours. And nobody can take that away from us. So I appreciate you coming through. If you haven't done so, tell your family, friends, like, share, subscribe to 410 Josh. I will be back Thursday for the Throwback Thursday edition. 2 hip hop albums, one for the females, one for the males. I appreciate y'all coming through, and I will see y'all on Thursday. Peace.